Galacticos is now to Doué. Doué's in! That is... And he's bearing down on goal, and it's fallen.
For 15 years, they bought superstars like groceries. Neymar, Messi, Mbappe. The world laughed. Qatari playthings, they said. No history, no soul. Just a collection of Instagram followers trying to win a trophy they don't deserve. And for 15 years, they choked. The remontada, the Madrid collapse, the Dortmund silence. Paris Saint-Germain was not a football club. It was a psychological experiment to see how much money you can spend to feel maximum pain. But stop the tape. Rewind the narrative. Because sitting here, on the eve of the UEFA Champions League final in Munich, the clowns have become kings. The chaos has become chemistry. And the team that couldn't get out of its own way is 90 minutes away from immortality. How did the biggest laughingstock in world football evolve into the most feared machine on the planet? How did they survive the departure of their alien, Kylian Mbappe, to actually get better? And who is the one man, the glitch in the matrix, who can tear apart Europe's finest dynasty with a single touch? This isn't the PSG you remember. This is the rise of the Phoenix. This is Le Nouveau Monde. Let's rewind the clock to 2011. Before the TikToks. Before the drama. Qatar Sports Investments bought a sleeping giant. But Paris wasn't sleeping. It was in a coma. They had won Ligue 1 title in nearly 20 years. The goal was simple: win the Champions League within 5 years. 5 years became 10. 10 years became 15. They broke the transfer record for Neymar. They paid a bag of gold for a teenage Kylian Mbappe. They even brought Lionel Messi to the Eiffel Tower. And yet, the trophy cabinet for Europe's elite remained emptier than a politician's promise. The trauma runs deep. 2021, semi-finals, lost to City. 2022, 2 goals up on aggregate against Real Madrid with 30 minutes to play, and they conceded 3. 2023, Bayern Munich, silent. 2024, Dortmund, tame. The pattern was always the same: no heart, no structure, just vibes and vertical passes. But here is the secret the haters missed. While the world was laughing at the Circus de Paris, a revolution was happening in the shadows. The carnival was about to close. June 2024. The earthquake. Kylian Mbappe, the crown jewel of France, the player the entire project was built around, walks away. Free transfer. Real Madrid. The headlines screamed, PSG is dead. The project is bankrupt. Back to the dark ages. But the obituaries were written too quickly. Because when you remove a black hole of gravity, the solar system doesn't collapse. It recalibrates. Enter Luis Enrique, the Spanish mad scientist, a man who looks at football like a chess grandmaster who also likes to punch walls. Luis Enrique looked at the squad. He saw divas. He saw egos. He saw a team that ran 15 kilometers less than their opponents in knockout games. His first act? Ban the private jets for short-away trips. His second act? Tell the stars that no one, and he means no one, has a guaranteed starting spot. And suddenly, something clicked. Without the Mbappe waiting on the half-line safety net, PSG learned to play together. They became the best pressing team in Europe. They became the only team in the top 5 leagues to have 7 different players score at least 5 goals. No main character. Just a script. Let's look at the run to Munich. It wasn't luck. It was dominance. Round of 16, Liverpool. Anfield is a cauldron. PSG goes there and wins 2-0. At home, they put 3 past Alisson. Aggregate, 5-1. Statement made. Quarterfinals, Arsenal. The tactical purists. Mikel Arteta's young guns. First leg in London, 1-1. Tense. Second leg in Paris, a hammering. 3-0. Vitinha dictates the tempo like a metronome. Semi-finals. Inter Milan. The Italian Wall. Simone Inzaghi's defense. Many said PSG would crack. Instead, they played the two most mature games in club history, 1-0 away, 1-0 at home, clean sheets, 12 goals scored, 3 conceded, in the knockout stages. They didn't just reach the final, they eviscerated everyone. The team that used to collapse under a light breeze now plays with the cold-blooded efficiency of a serial killer. But let's not rewrite history. It hasn't been a fairy tale. The road to Munich is paved with broken glass. December 2024. The low point, 2 days after Christmas. A freezing night in Lens. PSG loses 3-1. Marquinhos gets a red card. Lucas Hernandez tears his ankle. The same old ghosts came knocking. The press wrote the same articles. Frauds. Bottlers. Luis Enrique stood at the press conference. He didn't shout. He didn't blame the ref. He said, "This is the best thing that could have happened to us." The struggle is real. The defensive line is young. The goalkeeper, Donnarumma, while a hero in penalties, still has the occasional heart attack with the ball at his feet. And the schedule? Parc has fought on 4 fronts. The fatigue is visible. But here's the difference between this PSG and the old PSG. They would fracture, blame each other, leak stories to the press. This team? They went to the locker room, locked the door, and didn't come out for 40 minutes. They emerged as brothers. They won the next 15 games straight. The struggle taught them resilience. The struggle taught them that a final isn't won on reputation. It's won on the muddy, bloody, desperate moments in the 76th minute when your lungs are on fire. So what is their strongest point? If you ask the casual fan, they'll say the attack. But they'd be wrong. The strongest point of this PSG is the collective press. It is the most suffocating defensive structure in Europe. They don't defend with 4 defenders. They defend with 10 outfield players inside the opposition's half. Data nerds, listen up. PSG allows the fewest passes per defensive action in the Champions League. It takes opponents an average of just 7.2 seconds to lose the ball against PSG's high press. 7 seconds. You breathe on the ball. And 2 Parisians are on you. But the real strongest point? Adaptability. They can play tiki-taka. They can play direct. They can sit deep and counter. Luis Enrique has built a shapeshifter. In a final against Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, they can win 3 different ways without blinking. But systems don't win finals. Human beings do. And on the carpet of the Allianz Arena, when the clock hits 85 minutes and it's 0-0, there is one player who can bend reality. Ousmane Dembele. Stop laughing. I know the history. For years, Dembele was the punchline. Injury-prone. Streets won't forget, but the doctor won't clear him. Can't finish a sandwich. But in 2025, Ousmane Dembele is the best winger on planet Earth. Since Mbappé left, Dembele realized something. The spotlight was his. He is no longer the sidekick. He is the Batman. He has transformed his game. He doesn't need to score 30 goals. He needs to destroy your left back's career. Here is how he changes the entire situation. In a Champions League final, defenses are tight. Space is a myth. But Dembele doesn't need space. He creates it from nothing. Watch the semi-final against Inter. Stuck at 0-0. 65th minute. Dembele picks up the ball on the right touchline. 3 Inter players surround him. It looks like a dead end. Suddenly, a feint. A drop of the shoulder. A burst of acceleration that defies the laws of physics. He leaves 2 Italians grabbing air. He cuts inside. He passes the ball into the net with his weak foot. That is the X factor. When the system stalls, when the tactics cancel each other out. Dembele's chaos is the key that unlocks the lock. Keep your Haalands. Keep your Bellinghams. In a 1 versus 1 situation with the game on the line, give me the man they call the magnetic mosquito. If he stays fit for 90 minutes, the opposition cannot sleep. So we arrive at the precipice. 90 minutes. One trophy. 15 years of heartbreak distilled into a single match. Can PSG win? Let's look at the psychological map. The past tells us they will fail. History tells us the shirt is too heavy. But football doesn't live in the past. It lives in the present moment. The old PSG relied on magic. The new PSG relies on mechanics. The old PSG hoped Mbappé would do something insane. The new PSG knows that if they press for 70 minutes, the opponent will break. The X factor is Dembele. The anchor is Vitinha. The heart is Marquinhos. But the soul? The soul is Luis Enrique. This is a man who won a treble with Barcelona. He won the Champions League by beating Juventus in a final. He knows the stage. He doesn't feel the pressure. He applies it. Here is the prediction. The narrative wants the underdog. The narrative wants the new king. Real Madrid believes the Champions League is their birthright. But PSG has nothing left to lose except their reputation. And they already lost that years ago. Expect a tight first half, teams feeling each other out. 0-0 at the break. In the second half, the pressure cooker explodes. Dembele wins a penalty. Vitinha steps up, slots it coolly into the corner. 1-0. Real Madrid will push. They always push. Vinicius will dance. Bellingham will head one off the crossbar. But Donnarumma, the man who saved Italy's Euros, turns into a wall. He makes that save. The one they make movies about. Deep into stoppage time. 4 versus 2. A simple pass. A tap-in. 2-0. The final whistle. The monkey is off the back. Paris is not a circus anymore. Paris is the capital of European football. This isn't just a story about a football club. This is a story about redemption. About learning that you don't need a superstar savior. You need a team. We are 90 minutes away from history. Do you believe? Or are you still laughing? Because in Paris, the party is just getting started.